Yesterday, the funeral ceremony for Iran's leader was held, and heads of state from some third world countries, such as Bangladesh, Pakistan, Georgia, and some other African countries, appeared to gather there alongside an enormous crowd of mourners. According to some, the scale of this scene was so absurdly large that it could only have been generated by a machine with a flair of drama and complete disregard for human limits. The numbers were, as many insisted, unprecedented, not just in Iran, but in the entire modern era, which is precisely why, for many media outlets, the whole affair was suspicious. So immediately, it turned out that it was an obvious trick by this regime as use of AI in a heinous way. So Western experts from Germany, United States, France, and England, of course, wasted no time explaining why such a crowd could never exist in the real world. The research, which was carried out with the utmost precision, concluded that the gathering was physically impossible. And although the leaders who took part in this ceremony were not so important in political calculation, using these poor leaders for regime's propaganda is something they should be ashamed of. Some experts from the Institute of Political Earthquake, which is a geological institute based in München, has claimed that in weather like that, more than 500 people simply cannot stand in one place without violating the laws of nature, logistics, and perhaps common sense. The Institute of Sweating Sweetly, which is based on California, has claimed that such heat is intolerable to body and it is impossible to have this amount of people in a desert like Iran. So their conclusion was not merely that the numbers were exaggerated, but that the entire scene had the unmistakable texture of an AI-generated fantasy. It's called IRAI, which is a name for Islamic Regime Artificial Intelligence. Then came the next layer of expert analysis from FIFA, which helpfully suggested that even if the people were real, they were probably there for some entirely different reason. One theory claimed that more than 90% of the crowd had actually come to watch a football match and were only dressed in black because their favorite team were black kids. The media, naturally, took advantage of this innocent coincidence and repackaged football fans as funeral attenders, turning ordinary spectators into digital evidence for global deception, another aspect of Islamic Regime Artificial Intelligence, or IRAI. Other specialists joined in with equally refined reasoning, arguing that foreign leaders of these third world countries had merely arrived in Iran to sign oil and gas deals, and that the funeral happened to be there at the same time, like an inconvenient background detail in much more important transaction. Other specialists joined in with equally refined reasoning, arguing that foreign leaders of these poor third world countries had merely arrived in Iran to sign oil and gas deals, and that the funeral happened to be there at the same time, like an inconvenient background detail in a much more important transaction. In other words, the ceremony was not so much attended as accidentally occupied by statesmen who were busy with business, while the crowd was apparently recruited by the algorithm for decorative effect. Meanwhile, negotiations continue to recover the rights of these poor, misrepresented people who were, by all accounts, exploited not by circumstance, but by the media's inability to admit that the whole scene was an AI product from the start. And yet, The latest leak from an economic institution warns that if Iran really has access to artificial intelligence tools the rest of the world somehow failed to notice, then this must be taken very seriously. Otherwise, more such videos may soon emerge to confuse the public, mislead the West, and in most tragic possible turn, corrupt Western teenagers with even more convincing machine-made reality.